All right. Well, let me mute this. My voice is a little crazy. Actually, getting over from not feeling too well. So I'm going to try to do it step by step as I talk, but I will be redoing this and putting it in a step by step format. That way, I have to turn that down, of course. That way, if anyone wants to step by step, then my voice will be deleted and I will do a voiceover when I'm feeling better or an AI voiceover, one of the two. So, all right. First of all, when you come to your Oculus, I am still using the Oculus Quest 2. There's my avatar. And the very first thing is you're going to open up your taskbar area. And the way you do that is with your right controller, your Oculus. See the Oculus button? It's the flat button on the right controller. You're going to click it. Your taskbar is going to come up. Once that comes up, if you have Horizon Worlds, then you're just going to click on it to go directly to there. I see this is being laggy. I have no idea why, so let me restart this. All right, so now let's make sure it's not laggy. That way when I move the screen, it's not being glitchy and all that. Should be fine now. I don't know why I was doing that a while ago. I will be clearing my throat throughout the process, but once again, I will be creating a step by step on each step that I make in this. All right, so let me close these. There's my avatar again. Hello. Thank you for watching, even if you're watching this edited. I'm going to show how to create a small set on Meta Horizon Worlds. So we're going to go to our library and actually open Horizon Worlds, but if you do not have it, go right here to the store. Click on it. And in the search area, you're just going to type in Meta Horizon Worlds. And if it is available in your country or area, you can just click on it, download it, follow the steps to get in it, and then we're going to click start. I already have it, so I'm just going to go to my library and I'm going to open it. It's right here. And I'm going to show how to create a new world and label it and everything. If you look to the right, it's being glitchy. Let's just chill for a second. There it is. If you look to the right, you have your avatar. What's up, guys? And this right here, when you go into Horizon Worlds, this is, oh, I'm looking at all the stuff that's right here. This is the place where you can access the worlds you create, anything that you do. So right here, these are worlds you could go to. Bookmarked worlds, these are quests. Every time you do a quest in different areas, you can earn different things to put on your name or just to be unique. To be unique even more. All right. This is where you discover all the people, your friends, followers, where you could follow people. And this is where you create. So this is all my stuff. And we're going to create a new world. That way I can start you. That way I can start from scratch. Excuse me. All right. So once this is open, once again, access this on this controller, you're going to click the flat button. It's going to bring up your menu. You're going to go down here towards the center. Click on it. It says create on top. These are all your creations, tutorials, invites. That way you can have people help create your world. But we're going to do a new world. So we're going to click on new world. And these give you different options that you could start with. So that's a really good idea. But you can also start with a blank slate. Now we're going to name the world. Name it whatever you would like. And we'll just call this set 1 because it's going to be just a basic little set. And I'll show you guys how to create with that also. So we're going to click create. And now it's taking us. So hopping over to set 1, and then it says by Cupcakezilla. And of course it would show your name on there. So now we are in a blank world. Trying to reopen. There it is. So now we're in a blank world. And when you get teleported, like I'm turning, but you can't really tell because it all looks the same. So you can move around by moving your thumbstick forward and backwards. So you just come to the end and you can go to the middle. And this is where we're going to learn our controls on how to build. So when you look at your hands in front of you, that will always come up. When you look at your hands in front of you, if you get one of your hands, it doesn't matter, left or right, and you twist it and look at it, this will pop up. This is your settings for Horizon Worlds. You click the camera, and there's your camera. Here I am. There's my name, Cupcakezilla. So with the camera, you can record, you can take a picture, you can have it follow you. So when you run around, you can capture moments like that. You can have it follow you from behind. It's really cool. Let's put it back on picture mode. You can rotate to make it a portrait mode or a landscape. Let's see. And you can also put it where your name is there or it's not. That way you can take some pictures, oops, with and without your username. All right, so anyways, there's the avatar. There's smiling, angry, confused, and this is like, whatever. Anyways, all right, let us continue. That's how you access this. You also can put your mic on mute. Just click that. You can like, check any of your messages. So if someone follows you, you follow somebody, you can go into your settings menu that way. Now to build. So on your right controller, you see this. Oops. You see that? You're going to click down on the thumbstick. When you do that, you step into this mode. So you can see that. That's where I was standing. And you get your controllers, and with the triggers underneath by your middle fingers, you click at the same time and you pull it together to make the map smaller, or you pull it apart to make it bigger. Now look at how big our avatar is. Humongous, okay? That's about our size and super small, all right? To move around the map, you just get one of your controllers, the left or the right, and you get just one. Click the bottom trigger button where your middle finger is, grab and pull. Pull it in whatever direction you actually would like it to go. Do it with the same. Do the same with your opposite hand, and that's how you actually move. So when you're moving around the world, you grab it like this, twist, turn. This is when we're using it at the same time. You can twist it, turn it, look at the front view, back. So when you're building, these are your basic tools you're going to be using to actually navigate. Did I move? Okay, no, I didn't. I thought I moved this. The grid just gets like trippy. All right. Now we're going to get to building. Let's look at the controls real quick. I'll go over everything. So there I am. I clicked up. I'm back on the board. Click back down on the left, or I'm sorry. Click back down on the right and you go back into build mode. Click up on the left and you go into play mode. Now you can turn left or right, run forward, backwards, all that good stuff. Okay? It's pointing at me. All right. This is your start point. Oops. Let me get rid of that. This is your spawn point, this little guy. So this little guy, wherever you put this little guy on the map, is where you're going to spawn in at your world. So if you put him in the sky, your little person's going to spawn in right there. And if nothing's under it, it's going to just fall. So we're going to, at first, put the little guy right here. Just, it'll end up somewhere else, I'm sure. And, okay, so that's the spawn point where everyone spawns in at, whether you have one person in your room or 30, 20, it doesn't matter. That's your spawn point. You can have multiple spawn points, I think. I'm actually not sure of that. We will figure it out together, but I believe you can. So that's another thing. But all right. So we're going to stop worrying about that. I'm going to edit all this anyways. It's going to make more sense once it's edited together, but as of now, it's the raw uncut. Our controls. So the up button, I showed everyone what that does. When you push up, it will take you to play mode wherever the spawn point is. So you see the spawn point was right here. When I clicked up, it automatically took me there. Let's click back down. And we'll click back down and check back at this. So when you're building and you want to check a certain area, all right, so you're going to point. Oops. You're going to click up, and instead of letting it go, you're going to hold it down. And you see that little dot? Wherever it is, that's where you're going to spawn to. So if we take it to the end of the map, there we are. If we put it right here, there you are. So wherever you point, that's where you're going to go. So if you just click up, it will take you to the spawn point of where you put the little guy at. And if you hold up and point to an area, you're going to show up wherever you click. And you'll see how that comes into play once you're building, because you're going to be using that a lot to check your work. All right, the next thing is, oops, let's get into build mode. This is build mode. This is how you could tell it's build mode when you see all the options. All right. The next one is the undo. So when you click that, you're just going to undo what you previously did. So I believe so let's just say I get this little guy and I move it up here. And I'm like, no, I don't want it there. I just click undo. It spawns it back down there. And then so I move it here, and then I decide, no, I want it here. I click undo, and you can undo it again. So not only that, but if you're like, oh, I wanted it there, here it is. Redo, redo. All right. Next is one of the most helpful parts, the most helpful part when you're building. You just have to practice using it, and it is going to be the grid lock. This right here is the grid lock. My controller is like acting janky, so it's pushing down already, but the grid lock, when you push it down, that means it's on, that means it's off. So the blue means it's on, this means it's off. Let me show you an example. Let's get this square. Okay. All right. So right now when I grab this square, it's just like free form. Okay. It's just there. So I could put it down like this or anyway. But when I'm trying to build and I want to put it level, do you see how half of it would go through and it's not even because the other half's sticking through the bottom. So what we're going to want to do is put our grid lock on. So we click down. There's the grid. So when you select an object, you're going to see these little orange dots show up all over the object. This is the grid. This is the main grid down here. And when I move these, you see all these tiny dots appear. Those are the grids throughout the entire world as you're building. So it's going to automatically snap to whatever grid is closest to the orange dot that you're picking. So if I pick the top right corner dot, this is the one that all these little edges are going to snap to. And I could rotate this along the axis of that dot. You can do whatever. but this is the one it's gonna connect to. If I wanna do it from the center of any object, you just move your controller to the center. You can see the dot right here. Any dot you pick, any gridlock you pick, or any grid you pick will change its size. You can see that right there. So that's a way to indicate which one you're grabbing. So you put it towards the center. Now it has the exact center of this object. So anything I do, I'm going to connect it to this, to the center. All right. That comes in handy when, let's just do an example. Let me get a circle and I'm just going to change the color real quick. That way we can actually see the difference of, come on, change the color. There it goes. All right. So, excuse me. All right. So I have this square and I have this circle. I'm going to make it big a little. I will show how to do that. So don't worry. All right, so I have these two. Let's turn the gridlock off. So these two are just freeform. I can move it wherever. I can do that. And when we go down, look at, there it is. Okay. Let me, that way I could show. All right, so that's me placing it in there. I think I did fairly good, but you could tell it's not even just because, I mean, you can obviously see the square and see that this isn't even. So this is where the gridlock comes into play. When we put our gridlock on, we will see every access point. So we'll grab the bottom center of this and drag it to the center of the circle. And now look at, it's perfect from all angles. And that's the cool part of the gridlock. And then you can move them together, make it bigger, smaller. But the point is that they're uniform. So you can have this, or let me turn the gridlock off. I'm gonna oops. My controller is acting crazy right now. All right, so the gridlock is off. So look how perfect it is. Now I'm gonna try to line it up just by using my sight, and I'm just really gonna try and look at this side isn't lined up. This side's not, so I'm gonna grab it and try to be like, all right, let's do this. And then it looks even until we get to here. And it makes things a lot more difficult. So there it is. This is freehand, which I mean, I'm sure I could do a lot better if I really put a lot of thought into it. This is freehand placement, and this is with the gridlocks. The difference is just a cleaner look overall. So that's the importance of gridlock when you're building. All right, let's separate these. That way we have this to work with. I'll make this a little bit smaller. And it goes with anything. So if you want this stacked in the middle, put your gridlock on, put it like that. There it is. Perfectly in the middle. Now it looks like a ball sitting on a little square. All right. That's the importance of gridlock. So cute. I love this feature. All right. And now the next feature is the one that I just did. But on your my controller's acting up. That's why. Okay. So before this one comes up, I have to go over the uses for the right controller because they work together. All right, so now that we went over the left controller, this is how you come to the actual grid to start playing. This down is how you come into build mode to start actually building. Now we're going to learn this side. All right, so the top one with the little hand, that's to select. So you just hover over anything, nothing's being clicked on the controller. You hover over anything and you click the top trigger button. And then you hold on to it. And then when you let the trigger button go, it'll stay. So when you're building, you're going to grab it, grab the other object, and you're just going to build that way, okay? And then, of course, just like we went over the grid lock, use your grid lock to kind of set in place and do all that. Alrighty? That's what this is, the hand select. When you want to select multiple things, let's just say that's put out in two different areas, and you want to select multiple things, usually you do that, and then you go to this and it switches. So it'll switch from working on this one to this one. So to grab multiple ones, I'm just trying to click the air to clear that. So to grab multiple ones, you just click the trigger button. The trigger button is clicked because you could see it change to this. So here's without the trigger button being clicked. The top trigger button with your index finger, you click it, this will come up. So this little tiny thing is a selector. As you move your thumbstick to the right or left, it'll enlarge it or shrink it. So you can do this, and anything that's in that bubble will be selected. Let's do it again. Even if it's a small bubble, you just hold down the trigger and you select. Or you can make it as big as you want and select. And then once you do that, you can move these, and everything in that bubble will move together. This is really good for whenever you build a house or something pretty big that has a lot of detail and you want to move it all at once instead of having to, individually move each part and refix it. It's a huge part in basic building. All right, now we're going to we can do this one actually. This is your duplicate button. So when you have something, you don't have to go into your actual menu and get another square and, oh, I got to get this color again and let me get the color. Like, you skip all that. We're going to delete it. You literally just, remember, hover over, click, and whatever thing you want copied, put this as your option, move it over to the right. And as soon as you click this, click and grab. There you go. It copied. And you can do that as many, you do this, put it on copy, and then you can do the same thing as many times as you want. And it makes building things a whole lot easier when you have to grab a lot of things at once. That way you can build a whole lot of things at one time instead of having to, create individual ones. All right. Let's remember another thing I was showing is how to undo and redo. So to get rid of all this, you just hit the undo button, click it as many times as you need to. And now we're back to our original two. And if you want to redo it, remember, click redo, and the entire process will redo again. So there's a million ways to create something really cool, and just knowing the basics is super helpful. And Horizon Worlds is still fairly new, so hopefully there's lots of creators with lots of ideas that haven't even been shared yet. All right, the next thing is the lock. The lock is the bottom option. So when you hover over something and you click, you can move it. This is cool, but when you have a whole bunch of objects and you have a whole bunch of things taking up one area and one space, you don't really want everything to move. There's sometimes where you want this to stay still, but you want to move this. And so that's where the lock feature comes in. When you click your thumbstick down, you're going to hover over any object. And when you click, it's going to change the lines around it from a yellow to red. And that means that you have the object locked. So this is unlocked, this is locked. Which means when you go to grab the object, this you can move. This, no matter how many times you grab it, nothing's going to happen because it's locked. You can still use grid lock, you can still build on it, you can still do whatever. But if you select it all, see how nothing's going to happen? You have to unlock. And then you can select what you need to. All right? Take the grid lock off. There it goes. Now, let's do the paintbrush. This is going to open up the next part, which is our tools. This is the more intense part of, I don't know why it moves sometimes and why sometimes it doesn't. But I guess it grows too, so I don't know. It used to be able to, you could click on it and move it wherever, and it does it sometimes. I'm clueless as to why it does and doesn't, but to access that menu, this is your menu to get all the shapes you're going to build with, the colors, the textures, the gizmos, the coding, absolutely everything that you want to do to add into your world. And to access it on your left controller, it is not on any of these options, but on your actual controller, the flat button that accesses any menu in any game or app, you're going to click it. So the flat button on the left controller, you're going to click it, and it's going to open this. This is everything you need to publish your page, create your page, build the page, add all the effects, do everything that you need to do in it. So I'm going to go over each area real quick, and then we're going to start getting to build. The building part is kind of the quicker part since I've been practicing, but I want to actually go over each area so that way people can have a better understanding of the actual tools that they get to use. So the very first thing on the left-hand side, it says build. These are your shapes, all the shapes that you'll need. These are the ones they give you access to. And with these shapes, you can make anything. Gizmos. The gizmos are the things that some of them already have code in it, so you can just add it. This is for scripting, a spawn point, a door. You can change the environment, the lighting. There's so many different things that you can do to actually add some really cool features to your room. Let's see. Ooh, they have a mirror. When did they do this? I like this. Oh my goodness, and even in build mode they have it. That's crazy. That's hilarious. Why is it like that though? Look at how huge I look on the map. Now I look normal. See, I didn't even see that they had this. Of course, I'm going to keep this here that way everyone can have a visual of me talking as I'm explaining because that's pretty cool. Anyways, all right. That is hilarious. Okay, with the little avatar right there, the spawn point. All right, so they even do avatar poses. I know people use this when they play sitting areas. So when you create a chair or something, you just put this and all that. You can add text. There's all kinds of stuff. We'll go through all this after we get something built first. They have sounds on here. random little tiny sounds that you can add when something happens or somebody spawns in or something like that. I'm saying something a lot. All right. And then background noise like birds, city sound, stuff like that. And music. Let me. Can you hear it? It's like little arcade noise. But in each thing, you can also change the settings. So that'll be a part of it later once we get to that point. Pretty cool though. All right, now, oops. My puppy's right here and I just put the controller on her head. All right, and then this is a really cool thing, but these are assets. With the assets, like these are some of my assets. These are things that I've created that you can bring to any world. So I made a pillow. I can grab it, and here's a pillow I created. There's a pillow. I made it for one of my other worlds, but anything you can create, you can make an asset out of. So these are the hanging flowers I made. It's pretty high. But anything that you make, you can turn into an asset. So that's no problem. Uh-oh, I locked it. Oh, move it this way. Come on. All right. And I just do that again. Patty, chill. And then assets you've thrown away, whatever. All right, so now this is in your build area. That's the first little dot on your tiny mini taskbar. The second one is the paint, and that is this button right here. It comes in handy a lot when you're doing stuff real fast and like painting. So this is your color palettes. Excuse me. On the very top right, this is your actual paint preview of whatever color you choose. So you can get an idea of what's what and all that good stuff. You scroll down. Oh wait, let me just the very top is actual color. Right here, you click on this, and these are all your different palettes. So this is your bold one. That's these colors. Playful, joyful, autumn, and manual color slider. This is the one I usually use because you can pick any color, anything, and I use this the most out of everything. So when you scroll down more, once you get whatever color you're looking for, this is the material. You can do solid, plastic, metal, glowing, and you can unlight it because everything has a shadow. Basically, it's like backlighting to everything. Where's my little, here they are. My avatar's smiling. Girl, what are you smiling at? All right. So let me show you an example even of the glowing one. So we'll do glow. And up here, you'll see an example. So right here, you can change how strong you want the glow. So you click it, and when you stand in front of it, you'll see it glow. It shows better at night. I'll show that in a bit. But this is how you get lighting. This is how you can make lamps and basically anything that lights up your entire area. You can make this transparent, so there's like a glow coming, but you actually don't see something. There's a million things to do. It's pretty cool. Oops. Anyways, so let me change this back to, oh, and then when you have metal material, you can see right there how strong do you want it. You paint it and things. Look at that. They have a metal sheen to them. You can make it stronger or more subtle. Pretty cool. All right. Now that we have that, we could just leave that like that. That looks pretty cool. That does look pretty cool. But I'll just leave it. I'll put it back on solid. Here's another thing you could do. These are the texture backgrounds you could do. This is basic what it is. Let me grab the same one and let us scroll over. Go to the bottom. And these are all the different textures. So let's add that. You can get different backgrounds, different everything. This is a wood grain, concrete, water. And also with every single one of these, you scroll down, you can do small, medium, or large. So there's a large, there's a medium, there's a small. You can't really tell. You could kind of tell with this one. See that texture? There's small and there's large. So I'll just leave a purple wood grain box. Let me do metal. There you go. Purple metal wood grain box. That looks pretty cool. All right, next thing. So, back to this controller, why it has this. Once you have all this and you're in build mode and you're like, but I want this the same color as this, and you don't want to have to go in here and try to find the right color and do all that jazz. This is exactly like the color dropper in Word, in Microsoft, in on computers, whatever it is. Whenever you want to select a color, this is what this is. So you're going to hover over wherever you want the color. You're going to hover over with this first. Click, hover, you're going to select. Then you're going to click this. Hold on, hold on. There it is. The eye drop comes up. So it copied it. So you're going to go here and you can tell because there's the color. It changes the tip of this to whatever color you're using. There you go. Look at that. Pretty cool, right? So I'm going to put it on pause for now. I shall be right back. I have to go use the restroom and take a break. But when we come back, I'm going to finish going over the last of this, and then we will go on to actually building the stage and set. That's going to be the fun, easy part. So I shall return. I will be back, and thanks for watching. Okay, now my sound should be back on. Hopefully. Hopefully. Anyways, I took the longest little break right there, but that's fine, 'cause okay, now my sound should be back on. Hopefully. All right, so I am back. I'm refreshed. I am ready to go and finish this. Alrighty. This is what I was working on. So, showed how to use the paintbrush. I didn't even undo my screen. There I am. My goodness. Ridiculous. So, this is what we were working on right here. And I was showing how to do the paintbrush. All right. I was like, it's going, right? Okay, it did. Anyway, so now we're going to start building. I do have this up because I didn't realize. How am I? Am I sitting? Oh, is it because I jumped and then floated? I have no idea, but whatever. I need to put this in. Excuse me. All right, now I'm going to actually start building a little layout. And to do that, we're going to just use these since they're already here. Oh, another thing I need to teach really quick is, let's click out of that. When you go to select an object, you click the trigger, you hover over it, and then you select it. So now that it's selected, anytime you hover this over any selected object, these options come up. So I'll do this and it stays the same, nothing happens. But when I hover over the selected object, it changes to new options. So we can delete it, press down. There you go. You can select an object, hover over, oops, and press down, delete. But we want those because there are examples. There, we went back and fixed it. All right. Oh my goodness, my voice. It's okay though. It's okay. All right. And now when we hover over it and it changes to these options. There it goes. Oops. It's my controller. I was wondering why I was acting wonky. All right. So this first option right here is going to group or ungroup. So we put these together and we select them. And then we're going to hover over it. Oops. And then we're going to click it left, and that grouped everything. So now when we click it, it's going to click the object like it's one object. It's not going to treat it like it's separate objects. So now this is one whole object. So when I click out of it, like I can click this and move it and I go back, it's not just going to select the ball, it's going to select the ball and the box. So that's grouping. You can ungroup by hovering over the exact same box. This option, you click right. I keep saying right. You click left, 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 left. You click left, and it will ungroup it. So now you have each individual spot to work with. So we're going to group these. All right, and leave it like that. Another thing we're going to have to learn is, let's move this down here so that way I could show this. All right. Excuse me. Okay, another thing we're going to have to learn is shrinking and growing objects. So when you get any object, my nose is kind of stuffy, my throat is still kind of crazy, but excuse that, all right? I'm going to make a video of this that's going to have voiceovers and definitely not my voice. But for now, as I am teaching it right here, we'll just use my voice. All right, so to shrink or grow an object, which means make something bigger or smaller, you're going to select the object. So with your right controller or left, doesn't matter, but you just put this on the object you want. Have to actually go and touch it. Click with the right trigger button, the top, and then you're going to get your other controller, put it on the object also, click and move the controllers together to make it smaller or apart to make it bigger. Okay, so this is about the size I started with. And when we put it in real life, real avatar life, this is how big I am to the object, okay? Now let's shrink it. Excuse me. Now we're going to shrink it to actually show the different size difference. So let's put this right here. I'm going to copy it, and now I'm going to get it and make it smaller. And then we're going to put it down here. And look at the size. See the difference? Now we're going to get the exact same one, and we're going to make it bigger. Oops. And now let's see. So this is the size of those. And look at how big it is. All right, awesome. And that is how you change the size of things. Move the controllers together to make it smaller. Move it out to make it bigger. And you can make this huge like this. Look, you just zoom out on your map. See, it's in my hand right there. Hold on. Like, it's right here. Look at how big it is. It's humongous. All right. All right. Now we can get this. Calm down. I gotta like refix my controllers. All right. Now that that is finished, let's just put this right here so we can start working on building the actual world. That's going to be the fun part. Alrighty. So one of the first things I like to do is I'm going to update the environment so that way when I'm building in it, it's going to have a little different look to it because I like that. So that's what I'm going to do. And the way you do that is we're going to open up our settings, the flat button on the left controller. I have no clue why it's up there. None. It's not letting me move it either. Let me zoom out. It still wants to be above me. That's crazy. But anyways, I might have to restart Horizon Worlds. But it's fine. Let's just get through this. Wrong one. Oh my goodness. Gizmos. Environment. And to grab anything, you hover over it and you just click the trigger button and it'll pull it out. You could do that with shapes. You could do that with anything it's giving you the option of, okay? There you go. Now let's close that. I need to redo that part, but that's fine. Here's the environment square. You can change this as big and as small as you want. And so for video's sake, let's just keep it fairly big so we know what we're working with. Put the grid lock on, set it, and I'm going to turn the grid lock back off. I think that's better. All right, so now on any object, when you hover over it with your mouse, you're going to see these three little dots right there pop up. That means there's more options that you can explore when you click that. So we're going to click up and this pops up. When you click this, it'll move its little menu with it. But you can hover over the menu and grab that and you'll see a string that attaches the menu to whatever object you're working with. So you can even scoot this pretty far or close. I don't know why it did that. No, because I clicked custom gradient. Anyways, back to this. Let me make it, you know what, I'll leave it kind of big so you could see. Excuse me. All right, and now, right now the texture is daytime, but you can change it to any of these. The one I'm going to put it on is day panorama. This is one that they made as a default background. It's really cool. All the different little things. So let's go look at it. So this is the background. You can have different types. You can have daytime, nighttime, all different types. But it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, so we're going to work this one and just kind of leave it. I like, there it is, the city area. We'll do this. Let me turn this. That's fine. We'll scoot this and fix our square back right there. But on your environment, there's all kinds of things you could change. Let me turn this since I moved that. There's all kinds of things you could change. You could change how bright, how dark, how light. I really don't want to touch anything right now because I'm really just fine with just getting onto building, but all these details you could do. The fog, I usually put at 0 and it clears the fog so it's not blurry, but you can have it high. You can create your world however you would like. It's really cool. All right, so let's close this. I think I zoomed in too much. And then it goes back to this object so you can set your environment. And if you want to come back and change it, there's a lot of people that will have events and change it from daytime to nighttime. If you have worlds where you create virtual homes, you can change the environments. It's pretty cool. So you just get it. You can make it as big or as small as you want. And with these, I usually just get them and set them to the side, just somewhere. I'll know where they're at. They're over there. But they're also not in my building area. And the only time I really access it is when I'm going from daytime to nighttime and I want to see how the lights actually work while I'm building. So that's that's pretty cool. All right, now let's see. Let's get to actually building something. So we're going to just start with a square and build a room because we're going to build a set and then go from there. Alrighty. Let me grab the avatar. This avatar is the size of your avatar when you come in the world. So let's look at this window compared to the avatar. There you go. See? So let's scoot it about right there. There you go. So this is a good measurement if you want to make things bigger, smaller, if you're not sure which size you're actually building something, just get your spawn point and there it goes. Just get your spawn point and um, compare objects to it. Let me get some water. All right. Refreshing. Okay, so now we're going to actually start building. I shall be back. I have to take a restroom break. I'm not going to have my lunch this time because I had it on my last one. So it's legit going to be like a couple minute breaks. So I shall be back until the next part. We're going to be building. Be right back. All right, I think my mic is back on. I think I'll be able to tell right now. So, my dogs are chilling here with me, Freedom and Tiny. So, if you hear me randomly talking to my dogs, that's what it is. All right, so on this portion, we're going to actually, oops. Okay, so in this portion, we're going to actually start building. So, there's the exciting part. All the how-tos and the details I went over with the controllers, so that is a done deal. We are ready to go. So let's start building. This is the size model we have to work with of how big our avatars are. And let's go. I'm not going to worry about where I'm going to start the avatar off right now because I want to create the actual stage and everything first. So I'm just going to use this since it's here. I locked it. Unlock. I'm going to use it since it's here. Let's take these apart. All right, they're separate. Let's get rid of this. And now let's start moving this. Let's get to the building blocks. All right. So anytime you're building, any object that you have, you can change its shape. Not only can you make it shrink or grow, but you can also change from a square to a triangle and anything that the shape can access while you're using it. So we will use the square as the example, and then I will get a sphere and show you with that too. So with the square, you're going to let it go. And just like when you're going to the grid lock, we're going to turn this off. You can see all these little options, these colors. You have red, green, and blue. All right. The blue is for up and down, green, left and right, red, front and back. I mean, very obvious, but I mean, sometimes it's not always. Like when it's like this, okay? Or when it's a different shape. So let's do that. And just depending on whichever one you're looking, that's what it's going to be for the moment. So point is up, down, left, right, front, back. That's what you're always going to access with these buttons. So now when we hover over any one of these, you'll see a square or you'll see an arrow. Square, this is an arrow. Let's see from this side. All right. So you hover over this top one, you see an arrow going this way. When you click it, it'll drag the entire object up and down. You do that to the bottom one, the same thing. Now, when you grab the square, it's going to change the shape, but from whatever surface you're actually grabbing. So if you grab this one, it'll change it from this top square. This one from the right, bottom, and of course the left. Oops. All right. So you can change the size of objects by using these little options. So when we take something like this is going to be our platform. I'm going to make it thinner because we're just going to need a basic wall. let's make ourselves a little bit bigger. There you go. I'm going to make a mini one because I'm going to show you how to grow it. So you can work on smaller levels and then just have it grow. I'm going to change this though to a very neutral color. I don't know why it's up here still, but whatever, I'm going with it. I'm going to change this back to solid. Pick a regular color. Let's see. I don't want the wooden texture. We could do this one. Yeah, that's fine. That looks like a little cement block. looks like plaster. So I'll go with that. All right. So now that we have our little base piece, I'm going to bring it out a bit, and it just depends on how big I want the actual room. So let's just make it mostly a square. As you can tell, it's a rectangle, but closer to a square than a longer rectangle. All right, I am going to put my grid lock on so I can get this on a flat surface to start working with the rest of the pieces. So now that I have this piece finished, there you go. I'm trying to put it in the best view. So now that I have this piece finished, I'm going to copy, right click right here, hover over it, click and drag. So now I have another piece. Okay, now I'm going to start showing how to actually fit everything together using the grid lock and actually building. So we're going to turn the grid lock off. And like I said originally, you could get it. We're going to build a wall. Let me turn this way. That way we can see. And we're going to move this little guy right there. Okay, that should be good. That should be good. Move it right here. Perfect. So when you have a free form, you could do this. But like I said last time, look at this yellow line. Some of it's showing, some of it's not. You don't really know if the walls are straight. That's why we use grid lock. Always use grid lock to line things up. So we're going to push this down. Grid lock is on, and we're going to zoom all the way in. Grab this corner, and look at it automatically locked. You can have it locked to the top one, the middle, or the bottom. You can put it at an angle on any of these grids. So if you want to build a slope, there's a slope. I made it little, I forgot. Anyways, there's a slope, but we're going to build a room. So we're going to set this straight up, and you just grab it again. Grab it by whichever one you want to be the main one that it runs off of, and set it straight. Now you made a wall. Good job. Oh, hold on. Good job. You made a wall. Oops. All right. Hilarious. Okay, now we're going to do this other side, which is a good thing that this isn't even, because now I can show how to fix the wall for situations like this. So these are not an actual identically even, you know, let me think of what I'm saying. This is not a perfect square. That's what I'm saying. Okay. So obviously it's like a rectangle, one side is longer than the other. So we're going to show how to actually take it and make everything seamless. So we're going to copy again. And then this time we're going to grab this grid. I'll just do it big just in case. And we're going to drag it to this one. Okay. So when we do that, everything is lined up. This is lined up, that's lined up. But then you go here, and this are not lined up. So when you actually look at it, it looks like that. Okay. So we got to fix that. And the way you fix it, super simple. Oops. Super simple. Just like we said, you hover over it and you get not the arrow, because the arrow is going to actually move the wall. So not the arrow. Because see, it looks like it's disappearing, but all it's doing is moving. So not that one. We're going to grab this one. When we grab it, we're going to move it, okay? You can free move it, or when you put the grid lock on, it's going to want to, and this is why I'm holding the trigger the entire time, okay? So all you do is drag it to whichever one you want it to line up with, which I want it to line up to this end right here. So I'm grabbing this and I'm going to line it up to this and let go. And it lined it up and made it perfectly even. That's perfect. So now we have a perfect little square box. So we're going to select it all, which is, remember, you click the trigger, you click the items you want, and then you let it go. And then you're going to click this with left or right, and then you're going to click it with the other one, and then drag them together to shrink or drag them apart to make bigger. So this is our reference right here, this little person. So let's do it about this size. We're going to put our grid lock on and let it go. There is space from this in the ground right there. You could see it. So what we're going to do is get this and move it. Manually as close to the ground as we can. All right. So now let's actually see what we look like inside of this. Now look at the size of it. And we created our first room. It's empty, but when you go to film and it's full of stuff, you can literally, let's set this like this. I'll put my name in there. And then we'll do thumbs up and we'll take a picture. Oh, it took a picture. And then we can share it stating we're in our first room we built. So I'm not going to do that right now, but there you go. Now we're going to just start adding detail. So I always like adding a roof because it's open and it'll just look better in your shots. So what we're going to do is do the copy, hover, we're going to click copy, click whichever, oops, hover over, click whichever one we want. And then we're going to click, we're on the copy area. So we're going to click this button, the arrow, and watch what happens. It makes a copy of what you selected. And now you can move it directly up and down, which makes it easier to line up and snap the edges straight, which this didn't for some reason. Why is it like that? That's random. Hold on. There was two for some reason. That's why. Oh, okay. I was like, wait, what? See, even I'm like still sorting it out. My dog wants to get out of the room, but she's the one who wanted to come in here. She thought I was handing snacks out. She was wrong. So now she's like crying at the door wanting to get out. She's gonna have to wait. All right, so now it's like this. We're gonna put the roof on. So let's put our grid lock on. Let us grab the corner and add it there, and that's it. It's done. Make sure it lines up. And now you have a top. And if you would like to make this a box area, do the same thing. There you go. Wait. See, why is this crooked now? How is this even crooked? I am confused. Did I move it on accident? I think I may have. What did I do? Well, if this isn't one way to actually show. All right, everything should be lined up now. That was random. Here's my box. My little abode. So there you go. Now, if you decided that this is a little too short or you want the room to be a little bit longer, then just extend it. It will change the dimensions of what you use. So the walls will change, but let me show you. So you just select the two walls you want and you can, look at that, change multiple things at once. So now it looks like it's a little cover. Pretty cute, huh? Pretty adorable. Let me let this dog out because she's gonna be like sad the whole time. I'll be right back. All right, I am back, but I'm wondering why this keeps going offset. So I'm going to restart Horizon Worlds because I have no clue why it's doing that. Alright, head it back to set one. Oh man, there it is, my little house. It's still cricket. Alright, so I was thinking because I have no idea why this is not. I have no clue. Alright, so let's just do this. And then my head is like wanting to do like really detailed stuff, but I gotta keep it simple. So I'm just gonna start creating this like I normally would. There it is. Maybe I didn't go close enough. I don't know. But yeah, there it is. Let me do white walls. And let's do the floor. Gray wooden floor or gray planks. We'll do planks, but we can do a. That's cute. Put that right there just because you used to be able to shrink this too, but I guess now it stays ginormous. Let me. That one's cute. For a simple little home decor, we're just trying to create something, and then I'll make it an asset in case anyone would like it, then they can have it. So I am going to put windows on this. That's what I'm going to work on right now. And I'm going to show simple windows, but it's going to be really cute. So to do a window, I wonder if I should do it in the back or the sides. I'm going to actually do it on the side. And then we're going to see which size we want the window. I'm going to. Then we're going to copy this. Copy that and then move, oops, move this up a little too high. So let's move this a little lower. Move this a little lower. Cute. Super cute. Hold on, I gotta tell my son directions. All right, so I'm gonna show how I make a measurement tool that I just like keep with me when I need to make things even within other things. So I just get this, put it on grid lock, and then I'm going to put it, oops, to where the half point is of this. And this is going to be my measurement tool that I base the window measurements off of. So this is not really going to be anything other than a measuring tool before I add stuff. So I'm going to make a copy of this. I'm going to put that a different color so I don't. We'll just do it red. That way it's a very easy, obvious thing. Let me see how big this is. All right, we'll make them a little bit thinner. Very cool. Somehow it was exactly the same length. That was pretty cool. So these two should fit perfectly. Perfect. All right. Very nice. We're doing simple little windows. I'm like debating if I should make them smaller, but I like it as is. Now we're going to make a rod for the curtains. So we're just going to use this and one of these at the end. That's fine. Good enough. And we're going to make it metal. So let's go to material, metal, black, and we're going to do the highest. All right. Turn the gridlock off. Let's move our materials over here, and we're going to make a curtain rod holder. So another thing that I need is this. And we're going to paint this the same as those. Okay, why? Oh, gridlock. Oh my goodness. Alright. Is that good? Excuse me. Smaller. Alright, that should be good. And alright, so we're gonna line this up and then scoot it out about right there. And then we're going to add and you can't really see it because I am doing it a darker color. You know what? I can even do it gold just so it's easier to be seen. Let me do that because there it goes. I accidentally clicked my phone, so now TikTok opened up. Oh my goodness. All right. And mess that up. All right, now that we have this, we're going to move one to that side. So we're going to make this one object. And we're going to make it one object. So now when we move it, it's going to move together. We're going to make a duplicate of it. I honestly don't even know why it's doing that. It's fine as long as it's lined up, right? Somewhat, yeah. We'll be able to tell with this. We'll just put it all together. So now we're going to make the little curtain rod. So obviously it has to sit in here. we're gonna lock this. See, like this. Why is it going crooked? I am so confused right now. Because it's really difficult to build when it's doing that. It just doesn't make any sense to me. See, like that. Why is this not even? Why is it doing that? So confused. I have no clue why it's doing this. But that's fine. That's fine. Well, I'm just gonna scrap this part. This is like little detailed part that I'm like not even. I have no clue why it's doing this. It's really frustrating right now. Really frustrating. I have no clue how everything got on lock when I had it all selected. Oh, that is so frustrating. That is so frustrating. I keep saying frustrating. It's so frustrating. I don't know why everything keeps going crooked though. Like it just makes zero sense to me. Like I'm not even touching. Well, I have no clue, none, 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 none at all why it is doing that. It's getting really glitchy. That's not cool. Are you serious? Now let's see. All right. Well, I am finished on here for now. That's it. Build mode.